Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between LawLiet and Chaemiko. This game taking place on Tide Hunters from the Smile Cup 3. Highlighting this game that hopefully it will be an entertaining match as we see Chaemiko spawning as the red human here at what I'll call the 4 o'clock position. Across on the other only spawning location on Tide Hunters, we have LawLiet spawning as the blue Night Elf. Night Elf versus Human in a 1v1 matchup. Both players, well, very well known. We'll see how these players do in this game and what strategies they are bringing to the table, as Chaemiko seems to be opening up with a standard altar of kings, barracks, and a farm. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Ancient of War, Altar of Elders, Moonwell, pretty much standard game so far. Maybe a Keeper of the Grove going up against an Archmage. As I imagine the games in the past, I expect a Keeper of the Grove to go ahead and be trained up, do a little bit of creeping, and then try and put pressure with level 2 Entangle at level 3 while getting up a secondary hero. That secondary hero, Panda, Alchemist, Demon Hunter, all of them are still very much part of the meta, and we'll see what direction LawLiet tries to go for. Chaemiko, on the other hand, has options for Mountain King or Blood Mage, both becoming very, very powerful in the overall meta, as the Blood Mage is able to really siphon mana, try and shut down enemy heroes, and importantly, try and shut down that Demon Hunter before the Demon Hunter shuts down the Archmage. The game is already getting underway here as the Ancient of War absorbs a bit of damage. No repairs necessary so far. Keeper of the Grove should be popping on out here in just a moment. There he is, trying to finally gain a little bit of that experience. Summons up some treants, and now going after the Sea Giant and that Forest Troll Berserker. Archmage of Chaemiko, well, no big surprises here, using Militia to bring on the battle, taking down the Forest Troll Berserkers, and the last remaining units, Water Elemental, however, taking a bit more damage than perhaps the expected, as the Gloves of Haste is dropped down for the Archmage. A new round of Militia already being cleared up, and it looks like both sides are going to be going after their expansions, their local expansions. The question will be, who will actually be trying to expand? Snarecast, we're going to get taken out. There goes another Murloc right there as well. Level 2 on the Archmage already. Another Gloves of Haste. Archmage now with a fast attack speed should be able to get damage off pretty quickly. You can see how quickly that Archmage is attacking and, well, racking up all of that damage. Really wish that there was a number based to show you what that or how fast the attack speed was, similar to say StarCraft 2, where you can save like 0.8, 0.86, or 1.31, which is the number of seconds that need to pass before an attack goes down. Entangle, Keeper of the Grove trying to walk up the Wrapped Treants, unable to do very much, as we're looking at the peasants are already off over here. In comes some repairs, a beautiful block by Chaemiko as the Archmage, well, dealing with that Keeper of the Grove, who does have additional bit of armor with double rings of protection +3. Alright, Treants gonna get one peasant kill, another peasant kill not too far behind, as the Treants are now trying to back away. Are more Treants being summoned? No, I believe an Entangle was used instead, and that was where all of that mana went. Alright, a little bit of damage being pushed back the other way. No expansion that I see. Instead, a tech to tier 2, which is already halfway done. More peasants also being transferred over. Chaemiko going for the long game, hoping to have that expansion really start to pay for itself. Archmage should be able to finish off a number of these Murlocs here pretty quickly. There goes, takes down 2, and now may actually get up to, or get very close to level 3 after all of this time, as the Footmen are also clearing out this giant sea turtle creep camp. That should be enough to push it over the edge, get it to level 3, and now perhaps try and aggro some additional units there, picking up a Claws of Attack +5. I'm not sure if that was from a caster or if he actually tried to buy it from the marketplace, as the Archmage is already out and about looking to put pressure onto an expansion that does not exist. Tree of Life is nearly done. We should be looking at a Hunter's Hall and a dual Ancients of Lore. Here's that Hunter's Hall now being placed down to the south. That Hunter's Hall, well, necessary for those ancients of lore, as we are also getting a tree of life as well. All right, Archmage looking to back away, and this is a little bit of a sneaky maneuver
A
by
player's forces
LawLiet,
are under attack.
leaving wisps nearby and to set up an expansion after
A
the
town is
Archmage
under
scouts out
siege.
and sees that there is no expansion attempt. Naga Sea is already out here getting in some cold arrows, slowing down that retreat, as the Archmage does have boots of speed. Hunter's Hall is nearing done, and if you take a look, we are already at Tree of Ages. So so in Chaemiko's playbook, well, Chaemiko does not expect LawLiet to be this far along on his expansion already.
A player's
He may
forces
be
are under
sticking around
attack.
for a little bit, trying to see where those Ancient of Lores are. He does spot one Ancient of Lore trying to be constructed. Is this going to get canceled in time? Oh, yes, does get canceled in time right there. One Entangle does finish off another Footman. There's that level 3 Keeper of the Grove with level 2 Entangle that I mentioned, but the expansion was scouted out. All right, a Tree of Life is already halfway done, but also lost a good amount of its hit points, as the Water Elemental is still entangled down, representing a large amount of damage that could not be dealt. Footman now trying to retreat here, as well as the Naga Sea Witch on the board with some experience. Naga Sea Witch as that second hero, a little bit of an
Town is under
aggressive
siege.
play by LawLiet to try and put pressure or and be able to set up his expansion. Normally, when you have a Naga Sea Witch as a second hero, you're trying to attack your opponent very quickly. Instead, we see the Naga Sea Witch here as more of a defensive hero, quickly being trained out of the tavern and then making an immediate impact onto the battlefield. Archmage, however, is not getting slowed up in that many ways, as the Archmage now down to 93 hit points. Is it going to get taken down to 62, and is able to escape? A couple of footmen still looking to perhaps try and stop these Ancient of Lores, though, and well, these footmen are just now pretty much all lambs to the slaughter, so to speak, as the Ancient of Lore actually getting the final shot off there. Keeper of the Grove coming across, gonna get another entangle off on that last footman. Naga Sea Witch, well, get using cold arrows
A
on
town
a
is under
well
siege.
on a footman that is already not moving, as the expansion off to the north is now trying to get constructed. Archmage sitting at 98 hit points. He cannot stick around in this fight for very long. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove gonna come across, get an entangle off on that water elemental, ensuring that it doesn't finish off this entangled gold mine, as we see a little bit more damage added up onto that water elemental again, wasting a bit of mana there, but well, hats off to LawLiet for getting into a position that he wants to be. However, Chaemiko is already at tier 2, and he is going to go for a Blood Mage, even though he is not trying to counter a Demon Hunter. So
A
Keeper
player's
of the
forces
Grove
are under
should be
attack.
trying to play a game of pressure, trying to shut down any sort of harassment, and while the Naga Sea Witch is doing a bit of creeping on her own. Meanwhile, coming back around, footmen wandering around on the inside. Oh, they are simply able to walk on by. Keeper of the Grove did not spot them in time, and now needs to run over to try and catch up. Meanwhile, Archmage catches the Naga Sea Witch in a very precarious situation, fighting against a whole bunch of creeps, as the Goblin Shredder
Player's
now
forces are
returns
under
back
attack.
out. Archmage looking to rack up some more damage onto that Ancient of War. Ancient of War
A
gets
town
taken
is
down
under
there, as
siege.
the Archmage is able to retreat back. Meanwhile, Footman going after a couple of Wisps, going to be able to get more experience as well. All right, this is turning out to be some big plays once more, as the Blood Mage does have experience from that long distance bout of a Footman getting taken out. All right, there goes one Footman, there goes another. The level advantage definitely belongs to LawLiet, but the economic advantage, there is really no economic advantage or tech advantage at this point, as both sides are at the same point. Water Elemental not absorbing damage, siphon mana into the Archmage. Needs to summon up more Water Elemental, as the Keeper of the Grove gets an entangle down onto the Blood Mage, as the Blood Mage tried to siphon mana from that Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove, are they continuing to attack? Are we going to see some cold arrows? There goes another entangle as well, but a quick potion of
A player's
invulnerability
forces
used
are under
to,
attack.
ensure the escape. Giant Sea Turtle going to get taken down. Second Giant Sea Turtle going to get taken down as well. Naga Sea Witch will stay at level 2. Keeper of the Grove will stay at level 3, with a slight hero level advantage for LawLiet, as we are going into Tree of Eternity and getting that mastery training. Or is mastery training already done? no, mastery training is already done here. We should have bears out onto the battlefield, and well, bears are able to deal damage and absorb quite a bit of damage. There's a roar, there's the transform as he goes to town on all of these units. Back down here, Blood Mage still sitting at level 1. Archmage sitting at level 3, hoping to put pressure. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove and Naga Sea Witch both looking to level up. Level 4 on the Keeper of the Grove already. Level 3 now on that Naga Sea Witch, who also has a Sobi Mask. Should have plenty of mana for that Fork Lightning. The question now comes, Chaemiko going very heavy into Riflemen over Spellbreakers. Now, always interesting to see Riflemen versus Riflemen instead of Spellbreakers and vice versa. Riflemen generally better against the Night Elf, as the Spellbreakers are able to, well, generally better against the Night Elf as there are Dryads, and then you can slow down a couple of those Druids of the Claw who are a little bit slower in their retreat. Siphon Mana also going to be coming a big play, as we should be looking at a couple of slows as Sorceresses should be added on to the battlefield here momentarily. Without a these Druids of the Claw in their retreat, there's no way to really rack up that damage, as we're looking at, well, oh, this is the triple orb of Venom strategy. All right, so triple orb of Venom. Priestess of the Moon already with an orb of Venom. Going to be going for True Shot Aura. Keeper of the Grove should be, and eventually the Naga Sea Witch will also have an orb of Venom as well. And with that triple stacking of that orb of Venom, that damage over time does add up extremely quickly, and hit and run tactics become a play possible for the Night Elf. When you're taking almost 15 damage, 20 damage a second, 10 seconds after the fight is over, that damage does add up quickly. All right, Druids of the Claw are in that frontline spot. There goes a Flame Strike. Do we have Staff of Preservation? We do not. Bears retreating back the old-fashioned way as they're trying to dive on in before these Scout Towers and Guard Towers are up. One bear gets taken down. Chaemiko setting up this outpost here, putting in quite a bit of damage as there goes the bear. All right, one bear down. Druids of the Claw need to heal back up once more. Where are they going to try and retreat off to? Two bears are down as the Scout Tower is going to be completed. And now we see an Arcane Tower also up on the high ground there, offering a bit of cover as well. All right, those units are going to get finished off here. And with high ground cover on these Arcane Towers, Chaemiko is really pushing LawLiet into a corner. All right, Moonwell taking a little bit of damage there. Water Elemental looking to retreat back. Only one orb of Venom. Priestess of the Moon with plus 23 damage at this point and stage in the game with the Claws of Attack, Orb of Venom, Slippers of Agility, and also that True Shot Aura and Roar. That damage does add up very high indeed, as we're looking at, well, them trying to finish off some of these Spellbreakers and some of these other units. Bears coming back off to the north as well. That tower offering plenty of cover as the bear is trying to get into position. No Staff of Preservation still as of yet, but then again, you would only save the bear temporarily before they could try and get another rejuvenation down. And with this Arcane Tower in position, the bears may constantly just be low on mana. All right, more damage adding on through, more roars getting added in. Orb of Venom now on that Keeper of the Grove as well. You can see that the hit points are starting to drop slowly for all of these units as the Archmage, there goes a Flame Strike down onto the bears as they retreat back off to the north. Low hit point Spellbreaker needs to retreat back. Healing Salve being used. Water Elemental going to get taken out as we're still looking at the units trying to retreat. There's a Staff of Preservation saving that bear as we should be looking at a good amount of rejuvenation. LawLiet holding the door with just 3 heroes waiting for the bears and these remaining units to be able to get the necessary amounts of hit points and mana to try and go for a counter push. 70 over 70 supply compared to 74 over 78. Army size is fairly comparable as the Keeper of the Grove is still trying to push units back here. Naga Sea Witch could be trying to use cold arrows to try and prevent any sort of retreat as the Blood Mage, well, gonna take a little round of Orb of Venom and you can see his hit points dropping slowly. Bear is now trying to come in from the other side with no real way of taking down this Arcane Tower. Save for a Glaive Thrower attacking ground, well, that is just going to continue to have problems. Or, well, Moonwell, yes, one final drink before it gets destroyed. trying to use every bit of an advantage at home. LawLiet holding on to what looks to be an unfavorable position. Chaemiko only now setting up additional scout towers and ivory towers into guard towers here, continuing this pressure and slowly choking in on LawLiet. There goes a flame strike, level 2 flame strike coming down across all of those bears. A good counterattack now trying to push back the other A. Bears taking quite a bit of damage as we're still looking to dive on through. No real AoE damage onto all of the Spellbreakers, Riflemen, and Priests there as they're continuing to fight this battle. Keeper of the Grove continuing to retreat back. Naga Sea Witch trying to fall back as well as the bears are trying to make their way through. All right, level 3 continuing to push. A level 4, level 3, level 1. Even with the additional heroes and the hero level advantage, the guard towers and the positioning of Chaemiko's army seems like a slow death. No real mistakes being made by Chaemiko as of yet, as the bears are now trying to retreat back. They are all slowed up with nowhere to go. Level 3 on the Archmage, level 3 on the Blood Mage. It seems to be enough to do quite a bit of damage as the Priestess of the Moon gets to level 4. Units are now trying to retreat back. There we are, slow onto the Naga Sea Witch. Scroll of Town Portal. Naga Sea Witch may not be able to make it back in time. Down to dead as the Scroll of Town Portal finally takes the units away. Scroll of Town Portal leaving that Tree of Eternity behind to fend for itself. Archmage Rifleman taking down this Tree of Eternity and will cement its victory a little bit more, cement its path to victory a bit more. 66 over 70 supply here. Goblin Shredder trying to fight back, but the writing is pretty much on the wall. Tree of Eternity going to get taken down. There's a couple of wisps right there being left behind. No flame strike to finish them off. There may be some mass detonation as we're still looking at the, Blood Mage finishing off some more production buildings in these Ancient of Lores. 2-0 upgrades. Looks as though, LawLiet is ready for an all-in counterattack as things are going to continue to go south for him. Main Gold Mine only has about 5 minutes of mining left, but, that's exactly how long pretty much Chaemiko needs to try and close out this game. He can continue to mine from 2 bases while his opponent is stuck on 1, and there's not much to be done. Save for a catastrophic implosion of Chaemiko losing both of his heroes and then a lot of his units. There's not much to stop this party. All right, Keeper of the Grove now making its way over. Are we going to go for a base trade scenario? Well, base trade scenarios generally favor those who have more bases, and that is Chaemiko's 2 to LawLiet's 1 as the Treants are now trying to dive on in. Very well defended by itself. Arcane Vault going to be the first building to get taken down as the Treants are trying to focus down some of these units here. Keeper of the Grove not able to do much. Bears now trying to go after the Town Hall here, and we could see a Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back. There are still a couple of buildings being left behind here. Not quite sure what the overall plan and strategy is, as we're looking at the Keeper of the Grove, or the Archmage, now buying some Scrolls of Healing and has invisibility and has the Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back here. All right, it does not look like there is going to be a save on that Tree of Life at all. And, just turning this into a straight base race strategy. Always interesting to see, as base race scenarios generally favor those who have, damage that does more buildings to, more damage to buildings if it is on equal bases. Where are all of these remaining buildings here? Yeah, Chaemiko has tons of buildings all across the map. Only 2 buildings left here. What is Chaemiko just trying to, deal damage? Just deal damage? Is that the question? I don't see any more wisps. No, there are wisps out here on the battlefield, and they're going to try and take this expansion over here at the 4 o'clock location, taking out the main expansion and now setting up a new base. Meanwhile, the army is now going to make its way down. Is this going to be a strange reset, as this base only has, about 4.5 minutes of mining left. All right, in comes the bears, in comes all of these units. Keeper of the Grove now trying to make its way down. A new Tree of Life has been placed down right there. Is there going to be a Scroll of Town Portal on the Keeper of the Grove? No, there is not. Staff of Preservation could try and send a bear or 2 back over there, as the Treants are now trying to, get into a little bit of a play. Units are now going to try and retreat back. There's Mana Flare already ready to go in for that fight, as damage is adding up. Bears are trying to engage. Keeper of the Grove trying to fight back here, and Archmage gets taken down. Archmage gets absolutely blasted down in that moment. Keeper of the Grove, still safe here. The Flame Strike not doing that much damage. 52 supply compared to 73. A lot of bears, a lot of damage getting added up. Does LawLiet have enough gas in the tank to try and finish off this very large army? 39 supply compared to 65. Losing the level 4 Archmage was a very big deal, but is it enough as the Naga Sea Witch and the remaining units are trying to retreat back? All right, no Staff of Preservation on the Bears. I'm not quite sure why. You could still teleport them back as a Naga Sea Witch could get taken down. Level 5 now on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage could get taken down. Blood Mage gets taken down, and now it is a Keeper of the Grove and a level 4 Naga Sea Witch working together here. Army size 26 supply compared to 60. No heroes though for human at all, as we see a Staff of Preservation trying to save those units there. One bear does get taken down, but that is a lot of riflemen and spellbreakers still making their way over. Keeper of the Grove here, bears trying to fight their way through. That is a lot of spellbreakers trying to put pressure on, as that Tree of Life is, well, not yet up and running. No real mining as of yet, as the archers and all of these remaining units getting taken out. Standing army of Chaemiko, just too large, even though he was able to take down the last group of heroes. They're just going to be slowly resurrected, and with the number of bears out on the battlefield, well, that is just going to be difficult here. Keeper of the Grove and Naga Sea Witch could try and continue to use that Orb of Venom hit and run strategy to try and rack up damage. You can take a look, and that Priest, even though it is getting constantly healed, is barely holding steady on those hit points, as we see a Staff of Preservation while getting the Naga Sea Witch. Where's the Naga Sea Witch going to try to teleport off to? Teleport off to over here, and there's one Ancient of War left. All right. If there was still the Priestess of the Moon, perhaps that could be enough damage. There's a Fork Lightning. There goes one priest as well, taking down that priest, and then finally giving the GG. Chaemiko able to take down LawLiet in a beautiful game. LawLiet, however, able to punish Chaemiko just a bit, and was able to take down the level 5 Blood Mage, level 4 Archmage, but the standing armies were just too much. Very well played. That resource difference, perhaps the big difference in the end, that 3,000 additional gold building for that larger army indeed. And just Chaemiko recognizing how to use Tide Hunters, setting up towers on the high ground, difficult to reach, and still able to put pressure and remove mana from those Druids of the Claw. Also, not having access to Dryads and having a large amount of Dispel, making Slow that much more effective in those hit and run scenarios. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got to this part of the video, remember to thumbs up, like this video, helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time.